Today for our reading, we're working on page 245, context clues. We are continuing our study of context clues, and context clues are things that we find in a text or a paragraph that help us understand the meaning of words that we might not know. This focus is going to be on synonyms, and synonyms are words with the same or similar meanings. Well, sometimes what an author does, and we've talked about this before, is they include a synonym for an unfamiliar word right in their writing. In order to find them, in these cases, you're going to look for a word that's set off by commas and is preceded sometimes by the word or like. So we're looking for commas and the words or like to help us out. So here comes our passage. Kiko and Val were excited about their vacation on the moon. They had heard stories but had never seen such a thing as a rill, which is like a valley. During the ride, they were summoning or rousing their courage for their first walk on the moon. When they finally landed, Kiko staggered or wavered as she walked down the portable staircase. She remembered her mother's warning to be careful. Now Kiko could see a deep ditch or trench that posed a danger. Kiko gave Val a challenging look, then taunted her for being too scared to leave the spacecraft. Though Val didn't like being mocked by Kiko, she wasn't about to move until she was perfectly ready. So let's see if we can answer our questions together. We're going to use this text up here to help us out. What is a synonym for the word rill? Well, the first thing I need to do is go up to the story and find the word rill, which I see it right here. And I'm trying to find a synonym for it. Well, they're telling me I have to look for commas and words like or like. So near this, I see, like a what? And there's my comma as well. Like a what? Like a valley. So a synonym for rill would be valley. How do I know? Because it comes after a comma, and it also comes after the word like. And there's my and sign, and the word like. And usually when I talk about a word, I like to put it in quotation marks so that I see that I'm talking about a word that doesn't make it sound like it's part of the sentence. Number 2, how do you know rousing is a synonym for summoning? Well, again, I have to find rousing. So let me look. There's rousing. Oh, and I see summoning as well. So go back. How do you know rousing is a synonym for summoning? Well, we're talking about commas, or, and like. Okay, there's the word or, and there's a comma. So I know it's a synonym because it's set off. It is set off, but that doesn't look like a T, does it? I'm so sorry. Is set off by commas and appears after the word or, and appears after the word, squeeze it down here, the word or. Okay. Now, again, if you're following along with your video, which you should be, and filling out your paper, you can stop the video and continue to write so that you don't feel like you're getting behind. All right. What is a synonym for trench? Well, again, I got to go up and find the word trench. Oh, I see it over here. We're going to look for commas and or and like. I see a comma. I see the word or. So I'm going to read the sentence. Now Kiko could see a deep ditch or trench. So I'm seeing it right there. A synonym would be ditch. You're absolutely right. If you've said that before I said it, good for you. How do I know? Well, it's asking me to look for those commas and those words or like. But the next question is, why might a trench be dangerous? Why do you think a trench is dangerous? She was walking around, she saw this portable staircase she was coming down it. She remembered her mother's warning. She could see a deep ditch. What happens if you're going somewhere and you see a ditch? What's the danger you might find yourself in if you don't see a ditch? You're right, you could fall into it. All right. It would be dangerous to fall into. Fall into. I guess I should do that as one word. Into. Okay. Next question. Find the synonym for taunted. So now I have to look up here and find taunted. I'm scanning and scanning for T words. Oh, there it is. How could I find a synonym for taunted? Well, sometimes it might not even be that sentence. I might have to go to a previous sentence. Now Kiko could see the deep ditch or trench that posed a danger. Kiko gave Val a challenging look, then taunted her for being too scared to leave the spacecraft, though Val didn't like being mocked. Oh, wow, there it is. I can see that sentence. Sometimes I have to read before that sentence, and sometimes I have to read after to get the clue in the next sentence. So a synonym for taunted would be mocked. And it describes what Kiko was down because it's describing what Kiko was doing in the previous sentence, okay? It described what Kiko was doing in the previous sentence. Okay. So now we have one last question to do. So let me move this up a little bit for you. It says, after reading the passage, you might describe Val as being scared. What is a synonym for scared? This one I think you know. Pretty easy one. What do you think? A synonym would be frightened. Or you could do afraid. Okay, either one of those, I didn't do a nice job there. Either one of those would be good synonyms because they mean about the same thing as scared. Well, hopefully you've gotten some practice finding context clues to determine word meaning by using synonyms.